Hello everyone. For a very long time, I wanted to do a quick video on one of the hardest questions I've ever faced as a security engineer. So, the question was pretty simple. What is the one thing that you will do to make yourself more cyber secure? Now, there are hundreds of things that you can really do to make yourself cyber secure, but if somebody asks you the same question, what is going to be your recommendation? So it was, for me, it was a really tough one. So let's see how I tackle that. All right. So the question: Are you the security expert? So yeah. So I guess I am. I was in a different field, and I have become a IT professional at least 5 6 years now, completely in IT, and then I have become interested in cybersecurity. Got my degree in cybersecurity, and I got a job as enterprise security architect, and I was leaving my old place and coming to the new state. So I met with my old friends and they said and asked me the same question, okay, you're going to be the security expert, so help me, tell me the one thing that you are going to recommend that will make me more secure in this online world where everybody is connected. So this was my answer to them, that is secure your password. I think password and how important it is known to everyone. Okay, anytime you go, and even a lot of websites, they will say, okay, you cannot have a small password, you have to have special characters and numbers and certain lengths and all of that. But we still get lazy, and I'll tell you why I say that. Think about it. Most of the websites, they usually these days, they will take your username or your email address as the username, and then you're gonna use a password to log in, and probably say you first had an account with LinkedIn and you create a really complex password. Okay, then you memorized it, probably the password, but the next time you went on to create another account on Yahoo. So again, on Yahoo now you have your username, and then again very complex password that you have used for LinkedIn, now you're using for Yahoo. Then you went to your bank. Okay, then you created your user account. Then again, you're using a very secure password that you've created really long with all the special characters and numbers. Third time with your bank. And now think about how many other accounts you have. Your 401k, your healthcare, anything that you have that you do business with, you probably have an account. Most of the account, your username is probably your most used email that you use all the time, and one very secure password. So what is the problem? One pattern that I can you guys can understand, that here the problem is, for all these websites, you are using the same user ID and user using one password. Yes, I agree and I give you credit that you have made it very secure, but what is the problem? So think about it. So if any of the accounts get compromised, say your LinkedIn gets compromised, now whoever, now all the time that you will see that these accounts, when they get compromised, your username and password, they become available in the dark web. Okay, so other people, they now know, okay, this guy is his username is name@gmail.com, and here is his password, and what he's gonna do next, he's gonna try and take your username and password and try to log into every single other account that could be of any value, like a bank, 401k, healthcare, anywhere they can make some money, right? So it's a mess. So what can you do? So your solution is use different password. For all accounts, you have to use different passwords. So if LinkedIn gets compromised, okay, your account name got compromised, but for Yahoo, you actually have a very different, very complex password. So still, no one can do any harm because another account got compromised. You understand? Like for bank, you, although you're using the same username, your password is still very different and very complex, a different password. But how can you do that? I mean, we are humans. There is no way we can remember, the hundreds of sites we go to, and every single time, how can we remember all these passwords? So you need a password manager. Now, these days, Apple they will offer a password manager. A lot of the browsers, there's a controversy if you should use it or not. I personally use them. uh, you can use those password managers to store your passwords. One thing that I really like and I use on a daily basis is something called KeePass.info, and it's a password manager. Okay, so if you can go to the keepers.info, and in that one you can store all the username and password and your account link to your accounts, and it will help you even generate the complex password. So every single site you are keeping, and you know exactly what to create and what password you're using, and you just store it there. And I typically carry a USB, and I have the key pass in that USB. The USB is encrypted, and I have a master password to even open the key pass. Okay, so there are other security that will control who can actually access information within the key pass. But the point I'm trying to make, that you need some type of password manager so that you can store many different type of passwords for many different accounts. Okay, KeePass is only one example, which is completely free. There are other paid versions options available as well, so you can go and get them. All right, so last thing I wanted to end this. So that was the first thing. What is the only thing that you can do to make yourself more secure? So that is what I'm going to recommend. So what is the second most thing? Second most thing, I would say MFA. If any of your banks, any account, anything that supports multi-factor authentication, opt in. A lot of time they will not make it mandatory. They will say, okay, you if you want, you can opt in and have the MFA enabled for your account. If you have the option available, absolutely, please, please, please go for it. Take that option, and multi-factor authentication is gonna make your account so much more secure. Even though you have a lesser secure password, multi-factor authentication, since someone, whenever you're trying to log in or somebody else trying to log in, they always have to go through your approval through some kind of device that you have access to. You will know that whether it's yourself or somebody else is trying to hack your account. So I would always recommend that. That is the second most important thing that you can do to make yourself secure. And before I leave and end this call, the last thing I want to mention is some of the sites, they will ask you question like, what is the last name of your mother's, maiden name, something like that, or what year were you born, something like things that if a person, we might be able to do some research, maybe look into your Facebook account or LinkedIn account, and might be able to find the answers to such questions. So I would recommend even those questions, just treat them as like another password. So if somebody asks you what is the name of your mother's last name, you store that as like a weird password with a string name, and just consider just think that's not a question, that's another password field. So you have two different passwords field that you have to go through. Okay, and store that in your password manager. Okay, so that is the third thing. And the last thing before I end is, you may think that you know how to create the a secure password, which is great. A lot of sites they are now recommending, and they have certain restrictions on creating when you create password. But a lot of other sites, they will still let you create anything that you want. So I want you to learn about creating secure password. And these days, people recommend that you don't create password, you create pass phrases. Okay, use your numbers, use your special characters, use uppercase, lowercase, but use a password phrase, and make sure that your password is long. These days I recommend 12 to 14 characters at least, and beyond. So that's about it. So hopefully this video is useful information. If you are not using a password manager, please consider using it and be safe. Thank you. Thanks for watching the video.